Hey family, how you guys doing? This is another video where we are invoking deep conversation, where we ask questions to get each other thinking. And so today's question is whooping your kids okay? Is there a time and a place that you should whoop your kids? Personally, I didn't get very many whippings. I don't think I got a whooping ever, really, to be honest, because I was just an angel. I won't even say that I was an angel. Of course not. But I made mistakes, right? But being the youngest of 5 kids, I was just able to learn from my older siblings, know what to do, what not to do. They probably got some beatings for me, but I don't even remember. You know how it is when you're the baby, you just get a little bit more leeway. So I never really got whoopings, but I feel like, at least in my household, living with my mom, okay, so before my dad passed away, he passed away when I was like 5 years old, but I hear stories about how he would be like, oh, go out there and get a switch from the tree, things like that, like the traumatizing type stuff. Very traumatizing, wooden spoon type stuff, beat you type stuff. And so, is that okay? Is that okay for the black community? He was Muslim, very strict. And we just hear a lot of times spare the rod, spoil the child. I feel like that is true, but it doesn't mean that you discipline or you raise your kids up to be spoiled, right? You can instill fear and respect into your kids without whipping them. But I think it does have to be done before a certain age. So my kids are 1 and 2. I honestly feel like they're if I'm realistic, Mark acts like an 11-year-old and the twins act like 5, honestly, they're just that advanced, and they know how to be defiant already. And so if you tell them to do something, they know perfectly well what to do, how to do it, when to do it, but they won't do it. Sometimes they won't, right? Or they have selective hearing, But as soon as I get that little paddle out, so I have a brush that I made into a paddle, those blow drying brushes, since I don't comb my hair anymore. I'm growing locks 4 months in. I ripped off the little comb part, and so it's this perfect flat smooth that will get a little bit of a sting in when you need it. And the mention of a paddle helps them obey. And it's not like I don't abuse it. They might get 1 or 2 taps on their butt or thighs. But sometimes I do feel at that stage we tell them no for a reason, and it could be the difference between life and death, playing with the stove, climbing up on something and you about to bust your butt. I'll say no or get down 3 or 4 times, but after that, I'm either not going to say anything else and let you fall and learn the hard way, or if it's just a little too dangerous, then I will pop you the 2nd or 3rd time if you get back up there, because that's what my kids do all day long. And I just really try to check my feelings, am I popping them out of frustration, or am I popping them because it's going to teach them not to do this, because it really is dangerous. And my kids have been literally wrestling and playhousing since they were 9 months. What kid does that? Mark was 1, he was almost 2, 1 and a half something, and he was wrestling with his little brothers, and they liked it. The twins were wrestling at 6 months. They were wrestling before they could even crawl or walk, right? So they're just very hard-headed, very rough, very very much boy. They like to do roughhouse things. Like, we literally had to take all furniture out of the house, out of the kitchen, no chairs, because they climb up on stuff. And we almost want to take the rocking chair out and the couch, because all they do is pretend like they're on the show, the floor is lava, and they jump back and forth. So, like, that's usually when they get spankings, is when they're being, like, disobedient, defiant. When I say stop or get down and they don't do it, because they know what stop means. They say stop to each other when the other one is doing something that they shouldn't do. And sometimes, like, if one of them catches another one standing on a chair or doing something that they shouldn't do, they say stop. So my kids know what they're doing. Like, they will literally bring their little dinette table, the table or the chairs, to whatever thing they want that's higher up, and they will stand on it and get it. So that's how smart my kids are. So I literally do have to spank them, but I feel like after a certain age, I won't be doing as much spanking, just because you can talk to them and you can explain why it's not a good idea. So right now, they don't really know fear. They don't know if something's going to hurt them per se, because they cry for 2 minutes and they get back up and they do the exact same thing over and over again. So they don't know just yet. But like, after a certain age, probably after like 7, 8, like, there's no point in spanking. I feel like, for one, it may make your child even more angry, and like maybe like shut down a little bit, or they'll just like not care. They'll get used to the spankings. Like my brother would say all the time, like, he was used to spankings. It didn't even matter. You just get used to it. So I think at a certain age, for sure, it's a little too late. So rearing for me and my children will be in the young years, explaining to them why you shouldn't get up there, why you shouldn't do this, don't do that. And then after a certain period, it is what it is, and it might just be a little too late. So yeah, I just thought that was a good conversation, because I know a lot of black people, they either spank too hard, or they've swung to like the far right, and they're like, oh no, we don't do spankings around here, because they've been traumatized, or they feel like it's like you're taking your aggression out on your kids. If you're spanking for the right reasons, I don't really feel like you're taking your aggression or frustration out on your kids. More or less, if it's for the right reason, you're scared for them, that they may do something to themselves or to someone else, and it can be harmful or hurtful. But yeah, like, also, I don't know if you guys saw, but there was this video going around on Instagram where this teenage girl, I can't remember what she did. Oh no, she called her stepmom a fat ASSB. And so the stepmom and the dad proceeded to film themselves jumping on the girl, and I'm like, that's just like completely inappropriate. Like, the stepmom pulled her hair off. She was like demeaning her and calling her names. Like, I feel like that's just too far. That's way too far. And then first off, you the stepmama. Like, don't discipline my kid. And as a father, like, I get that is your wife, and you want your daughter to respect your wife, but why would you allow your wife to disrespect your daughter or to demean her? So it was just backwards. They put it on live. Like, it just never ends good at all. I mean, for one, it's proof to CPS or whoever else that you abused your child, because you put it on live, you recorded it. So don't do that. If you want to abuse them, don't have proof, or just don't abuse at all, right? So that was stupid, but like, you guys have to go look it up. It's just, and you've seen like so many different things, and unfortunately they have been black people to where they just take it too far. You know, they shave the kid's head off. Like, you don't need to discipline your children in the public eye. It just never ends good. It's humiliating. And then it makes your child feel less than. Like, when you discipline, your children should want to do better. Not just because they got disciplined, but because it's changed something internally to where they want to do better, right? And even God chastises us. He will discipline us if we're misbehaving, if we do something that we shouldn't do in places where we shouldn't go. He does that because that's what a loving father does. You can't just keep getting away with, bad behavior. So I do feel like it's okay to be chastised, to be disciplined, and that's what makes a good father or mother. But there's a way that you should do it. So, I just thought it was like a good conversation because I'm keeping my paddle. Like I said, I don't abuse it. I don't misuse it. I give it to them when they need to. And now's the time. They're young. You know, you see these, and everybody says how well behaved my kids are. I'm like, they're well behaved? Like, thank you. Because for twins, they're 1, and then for Mark to be 2. So 3 kids, 2 and under. And for you to say that my kids are well behaved and that you would invite us over again, that says a lot. And so these are the years where you're instilling, positive, like, reinforcement into them. So another topic that we can talk about is bribing. Does bribing work? I'm all for bribing. I'm all for bribing because good behavior, you should receive a good reward. So I bribe with candy. I bribe with taking that pacifier away. Like, I hit them where it hurts too. Take that pacifier away. And they all love pacifiers. And I don't plan on taking them off of it anytime soon either. They love pacifiers. I will take that cup away. I will turn off Peppa Pig, Coco Melon. I will threaten a nap in a second, and it works. So, so a little pow-pow when needed in bribing. I think it goes a long way. Let me know how you guys discipline your kids. How were you disciplined as a child? Did it work? Did it make you angry? So on and so forth. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.